right, so we're gonna get started. Just give us one. There we go.
Lovely.
All right, perfect. Welcome to the interview. Thank you so much for having this opportunity today, and thank you for making time out of your busy schedule. So we're gonna ask a first general question, just get started, and then we'll go with the flow. If you have any questions
Do
or
it, man.
anything to add, let us know. All right, so first question here: what have you been up to lately? What has your life schedule been so far?
Well, I'm always doing a lot of stuff. As you guys know, I'm pretty busy guy. So I've been doing a lot of stuff with my podcast with Talk Is Jericho,
Yep.
which is about to be 12 years old, I
Really?
think,
Wow.
December. So really concentrating on the video side of that because it's a big part of it now to have the video included.
Yeah.
Also working on the next Jericho cruise, seventh cruise of a seventh cruise. We just started the pre-sale last week. We're already 60% sold out for that.
Wow.
Have some acting stuff coming up, some more band stuff. I have two bands, Fozzy and Kuarantine.
Yes, I've heard
Um,
about that. Yes.
yeah, so we have some quarantine shows coming up in November.
Yep.
I'm doing some Comic Cons. I have a Comic Con called Spooky Empire in Orlando this weekend,
Mm.
then the Rhode Island Comic Con next weekend. So there's always stuff going on. It's always kind of a mixed bag of activities and work to do. But that's the thing I like. I like the fact that I've been able to kind of branch out into many different areas of showbiz, and it keeps things exciting and fun.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. I'm gonna pass the mic to Mishka for the next question.
All right. Yes, you have been doing very wonderful things. But most people know you for wrestling. So, did you always know that you were going to go into wrestling, or did something inspire you along the way?
Well, I was a big fan of wrestling when I was a kid. My grandmother was a really huge fanatic of it, so I watched it with her. And when I was growing up on Saturday nights, you'd have Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner was a cartoon at like 6, and then 7 was wrestling, AWA wrestling, and then 8 was Hockey Night in Canada
Yeah.
or something along those lines. It was
Yeah,
three
yeah,
shows in a row, so it was like
yeah.
Saturday night, the best night of the week, and wrestling was a big part of that. So
Nice.
that's when I got into it. And then when I was kind of growing up in high school, wrestling got really popular. And like you said, we used to wrestle ourselves in the Westwood Collegiate Gym,
Yeah, yeah.
the back area. And then I just really got into it. And there was a company out of Calgary called Stampede Wrestling, and I didn't really know how to get to, New York or Chicago or Dallas or any of these big cities in the States where you could watch wrestling, but I knew where Calgary was. So I thought that might be a good idea for me to try and get into wrestling there. And that's kind of how it all started. I made contact with the wrestling company and the wrestling school that was in Calgary. And when I finished high school, I went to Red River Polytechnic, as it's called now, for a couple of years.
Yep.
Got my degree in journalism. And then after that, I moved to Calgary to start training for wrestling.
Oh,
Wow.
that's fascinating.
That's crazy. So cool. So I'm gonna pass it on. Now we're gonna switch over to a bit of Westwood questions.
Speaking of the school.
Speaking of
Hmm.
logo, I'm gonna start off before we go with a few questions. I just want to ask, when you take a look at the current Westwood logo, was that always the logo when you went to school?
No, we didn't have that. It looks much, I don't remember even having a logo, although we must have because we had the Warriors, the hockey team,
Yeah.
and I played on the water polo team, so we had that. Volleyball and basketball, I think, were the four sports that we had. Like, we didn't have a fancy pants logo like you guys have now.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
our logo, and there's also one that has the Warriors on it too. It's a pretty cool
Okay.
logo. But yeah, so currently our hockey team is doing well. We got a brand new a few years ago. I think it was like 7 years ago. We weren't here, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but our hockey team got their own logo, and it's on the ice now. It's such a cool experience for them.
Very cool.
But yeah, teams are doing well. Our sports teams are all well currently, so that's good.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite location, maybe classroom or just one of your teachers that you just always liked about Westwood? Like when you
Like a
walk
good
in,
spot.
like a good spot
Yeah.
to hang out or something like that.
Yeah, it was interesting when I went back to Westwood just last year and kind of looked around. It was cool to see it again because I hadn't been there since probably 1988 or so.
Wow.
So even though it seemed a lot smaller, once you started walking through, you kind of morph right back into being your guys' age and walking down the halls
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. We used to have a great art teacher, and his name is escaping me right now. I'll probably think of it as soon as the interview is done. But
That
Yeah.
happens.
he was the
Yeah.
art teacher in the 80s and probably early 90s, and he was really into just allowing you to be free. Like he didn't worry too much about curriculum or about do this, do that. It was more along the lines of if you feel like, painting a post-apocalyptic, horrific scene, then do it. If you feel
That's
like
nice.
using watercolors, then you can do that too. So like whatever it may be. And it was really kind of um, like I mentioned, like a very free, creative class, which is what art class should be. So it
Mhm.
was one that you always look forward to. And I think everyone got an A. Like if you showed effort, you got an A. So that was kind of a really cool class. And we used to have another guy who's a science teacher called Mr. Watson.
Mhm.
And he was a great teacher because he was super friendly, but he took no crap. And if you were late, like 30 seconds, he'd wait as you're running down the hallway to try and get into the room. And just as you got there, he'd slam the door in your face, making sure that you don't aren't late. And then if we got all our work done, he would show us wrestling
Oh,
stuff.
Oh,
Um,
shoot.
and he would show us, yeah, some of the wrestling matches. So he was pretty cool. Like anybody that would treat you like a human being and not like a little kid student, which there was plenty of those. But
Oh
and
yeah, there are.
Dr. Reason was our drama teacher that I did Oliver with. He was really good as well. So there were some great teachers there in Westwood. Of course, I'm forgetting tons of them, but they were really kind of, like the teachers that we met earlier, just open-minded, treated you like a human being and not like some little kid or something. And you could learn from them and be inspired by them.
well, teachers like that are the best.
Yeah, they
They
are. We
really
Yes.
are.
actually have a few of our own here. So we're lucky of that. And we also have normal teachers, which is great. They're all
Yes.
great.
Yeah, but it's a
No, they're
great
all
school.
great. A great school.
So, you graduated in what year again?
1988.
Yeah, so 1988. So in what
Yes.
ways did your experience during high school affect your career, or maybe a bit more dramatically, the trajectory of your life, perhaps?
I mean, once again, we had a really good uh, high school. I mean, it was a very creative high school, which I found. Like one thing I notice now that's a lot different from when I was growing up was when I was in high school, everybody was in a band. There was probably six bands or seven bands just in Westwood alone. And then if you went to John Taylor, there was six other bands. Then if you went to, all the other different schools, Silver Heights or whatever it may be, there was all over the place bands everywhere. And so there was a lot of creativity involved with making music. And then there was a lot of artists. They used to laugh, other schools would call us Hollywood High, I guess because apparently Westwood people had more money, which I don't remember really having any more money than anybody else. But even though it was called Hollywood High, it was a very creative type of a school. So it did. It did kind of influence me because then I went to creative communications, CreCom at Red River, which
Yep.
was a step next from what I was doing in Westwood. I wasn't good at math. I wasn't good at chemistry. I was terrible at chemistry, as a matter of fact. But I was always really good at English, art, like we said, and anything that drama. Being an Oliver was great for me. And we used to do, you call them lip syncing now. They were air bands. We'd have air band contests a couple times a year in Westwood in the gym, and everybody would put together like whatever kind of a cool idea they had to do something different. And so, I don't remember a lot of bullies in school, and also everyone got along. Like if you were a jock or a metalhead or new wave was the thing at the time, everyone got along with everybody. And also too I had friends that were 2 years younger, 1 year younger. And as you guys know, sometimes if you're in grade 10, grade 12 might as well be 100 years older. But,
Yep.
when we got to grade 12, we were friends kind of with so many different people. So it was a really cool interactive high school and a very positive place, I guess you could say, that I actually enjoyed going to. Probably at the time I didn't like it as much as I like it now, but when I look back at my high school experience in Westwood, it was a great experience. I think it was probably I couldn't complain about any of it because once again, it opened the door to creativity, connection, collaboration. There you go. There's Westwood Collegiate. Creativity, connection, collaboration. There's your tagline. But yeah, so it really did it really did kind of open a lot of doors for me, and the fact that even like we could go wrestle, at 6 o'clock on a Wednesday night and be interrupted by the teacher, but he let us use the space and the porta pits, the big giant mats. I mean, just
Yeah.
a lot of cool stuff like that.
Well, they do
Yeah.
still call it an art school now.
They
Yeah.
this
Good.
when you take a look Sturgeon, JT, St. James, they all call us art school because
Yeah.
this high
Westwood's
school
the art school.
we have all the art programs that some of the schools don't have. Like I
Yeah.
just yeah,
But even
we're
just
there.
the fact that you contacted me to do this, I mean, this is great, and that's good for you, man. That's what you got to do. You learn those lessons that you got to pick up the phone, you got to reach out, and the fact you guys have your own show. I mean, this is exciting. I'm glad you guys are doing this. It's very important to learn these skills because it gives you confidence. A lot of people don't want to go in front of a camera. And especially nowadays in this day and age when everybody's got a camera and everybody's on TikTok and Instagram and making videos and doing this. I mean, the fact you guys are running your own show, I mean, that's great. It's very important to learn how to do that because it is a skill. It's not easy to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, crazy.
Like we said, it's up on the wall in front of the principal's office. That
Yeah,
movie
the
video,
the
you can see
picture,
it there.
yeah. We're gonna definitely put that in our post.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue on with the Westwood questions here. I'm just trying to think. Okay, do you have any memories or stories from when you studied here at Westwood?
Well, there's a million of them, like I said, I mean, just I kind of went through some of them from before, but I
Hmm.
think, I really loved kind of the Oliver when we did the play. That was, obviously lots of rehearsing to get that done, but then doing the shows in the gymnasium were cool. And I wasn't Fagin. I was Bill Sykes was the character I played, and he's the big villain,
Yeah.
which I had to audition for. And there's some singing in it as well. There used to be actually a talk show called Wayne Brady in the States a few years ago. Wayne's a pretty famous comedian. He's a host. He hosts The Price is Right now and actually sang one of the songs from Oliver on the Wayne Brady show, which is great. But the cool thing was I dyed my hair black for it. And I had a whip, like an Indiana Jones, like like a bull
Yeah,
whip.
yeah, yeah.
And I incorporated that into the character. So I whipped, a couple of the kids, like not really, but you throw the
Yeah,
whip
yeah.
and then the big finale was there was kind of a balcony that they had built where Bill Sykes gets shot at the end,
Hmm.
and I fell off the second floor behind onto one of said porta pit mats, the big mats that they had. And
Okay.
so that was pretty cool. He's like, "Are you sure you can do this?" Like, no, he's got to die in like a cool way. So I got kind of a precursor to the wrestling career, taking a big bump off the balcony into the mat.
Yeah.
So that was great. And like I said, we would do the air bands every year and we would combine songs rather than just doing one straight song. So the big one that we did was called the Wham Bangers, which was a song by a band called Wham called Wake Me Up
Yeah,
Before You Go Go. And we
yeah,
combined it
yeah,
with a song
yeah,
by Metallica
yeah.
called
Oh.
Hit the Lights. So it was
Okay.
Metallica and Wham combined. And it started out kind of very whammy, then went very heavy metal, and there was balloons falling and people running the stage, and we had these little whippersnappers that you throw on the ground, they pop, and it was just kind of like this big chaotic thing to where afterwards everyone was like, "What did we just see?" But of course, we had to win because it was so unique and fun. So, those types of things is what stands out for me rather than, sitting in class and drawing comic books. I drew comic books for a year straight of, the history of my band, which was called Scimitar, or this post-apocalyptic comic book that I was doing with my friend Curtis in Mr. Kobach's class. Like, probably not as much studying as I should have done, but there was a lot of creativity going on, and that's kind of what I'm doing now. So it did kind of go to the next step. And actually, one last thing
Mhm.
is there was a band called Iron Maiden. There still is. And they're doing a documentary, and I said, you could learn from Iron Maiden because they're very, very, very historical. And they would tell, these tales from books and things along those lines. They have a song called Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. And I remember being in English class, and the teacher was Miss Reeves, and I wrote a whole report about the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, but I didn't actually read the poem. I just read the Iron Maiden lyrics and transposed the lyrics into the report, and I got an A plus for my Rhyme of the Ancient
Oh,
Mariner report
Right.
because of Iron Maiden. So there you go.
Well, yeah. So I suppose the things that you learned from high school aren't just like from the lessons, but the experiences.
Exactly. That's exactly the experiences, the friendships, the connections, those sort of things is what I really remember rather than, the math test that I took in grade 11 or whatever it may be.
yeah, for sure. So we are we have about 10 minutes left in this interview here. So we are gonna ask, we have a few more questions here real quick, and then yeah, Mishko, you could go ahead with your next.
Yeah, all right.
Yes.
So last year we saw you when you visited the school. It made the entire building very happy.
I don't know if you remember this. I checked your Instagram after you came here. I was the one following you, and you posted, "Hey, this kid's following me." That was me. I don't know if you remember that.
I do recognize you, so that would
Yeah,
be the reason
I
why.
thought
Yeah.
you might like. You're like, "Oh, wait a minute," right? So that was me, by the way. But yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was funny. I went in there just to kind of check it out,
Mhm. Yeah.
because I just wanted to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked in the front door, and the principal happened to be there, and he was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, come
yeah.
on,
Mr.
look around. We
Dewitt.
want."
Yeah, yeah.
And as I started walking, the word started getting out. So at first there was a couple kids, and then by the end of it, it was like the Pied Piper with like
We were very
200
So
kids
excited.
behind me, just following me everywhere that I went.
how this happened, that we have walkies at our school, and someone put code Jericho,
Yeah.
and I heard it on the walkie, so I was like, "No way! Is that who I think it is?" So I ran out, and you were there. I said to my teacher, "I have to go to the washroom," so that's what happened. So it was kind of funny. I have a personal question before we. Sorry about that. I have a personal question here before the school's wondering. If you ever come back to Winnipeg for a while, are you gonna maybe make another pit stop in the school in the future?
Yeah, I'd like to come back and speak to the kids and say hi. I think we spoke with your what's your principal's name again?
So actually, Mr. Dewitt just retired.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now our new principal is Miss Baydock.
Hmm.
But you
okay.
know Miss Engel, our current VP here.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
she's
I mean, it's
still
just a
here.
matter of figuring out a time. But next
Yeah,
time I come back through again, I'd love to have an assembly
yeah, yeah,
on a
exactly.
Friday afternoon or whatever. Come in and say hi
For
for a bit.
sure.
Everyone would be
This
very happy if that happened.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
just to see you and to also just be out of class for that afternoon would be great.
It's probably the other way around. Getting out of class is most important.
Yeah.
Seeing me second.
Yeah, I know everyone's gonna be like, maybe that teacher say, "There's a special guest here." What? Chris Jericho? That'd be funny. We'll know what it
Yeah.
means.
All right.
That's
So just
right.
like one last question.
Yep.
So of course everyone in the school looks up to you as a Westwood alumni.
Oh, and here's one of
Oh,
our
yeah.
Miss Angle here.
Oh, hello. How are
Here
you?
comes our
Hey guys.
administration staff.
How's it going?
Oh, yep. And here's Mr.
And
Dempster
Mr.
too.
Dempster. So Miss Baydock, we were just talking about you. This is our current new principal here at
Hello.
Westwood.
Hi.
Bringing these fabulous things.
They're doing great. They're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
They're
much.
doing a great
All right.
job.
I heard the question. Could he come back?
Yeah,
Yes,
could he
he
come?
would.
Yes,
And
he.
you're not skipping class. The whole school.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Thank you. We'll make it happen.
Thank you. Do you want to say a quick hello, Miss Beta? Yeah.
Hi, Chris. Good to see you.
Good to see
You
you.
want
Hi.
You want
How's
to
it
hear
good?
it? Yeah,
Yeah,
here.
here you
Okay,
go.
here we go.
Oh.
There we go. We're back. Here we go.
I always joke about how I was your first wrestling partner.
I remember we were just talking about Oliver. Yeah.
It's
So cool to see you.
It's so cool to see you too, and like
Yeah.
thank you for your time and
You're welcome.
giving back to us like this. It's just spectacular for us.
They're doing a great job. We're having a good time.
They're really amazing young adults. So
Yeah.
they're worth the
Next
worth
time
of-
I'm back in town, I want to come by and do a assembly or whatever. Say hi to the kids.
Yes, Miss Baydock said that there's going to be no skipping classes because everybody will be in
Everyone's gonna be there.
Thank you
We'll make
again.
it happen. You're welcome.
Thank
Good to see you.
you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, see ya.